After 10 years of thinking they were gone, the abomination returns. Halo 4 elites never made sense. Their design was so different from every elite before them that fans spent years arguing about why they looked the way they did, when everyone knew they were just a horrible design choice. But Campaign Evolved might have just changed that. Before theorizing why Halo 4 elites are in Campaign Evolved, we have to understand the timeline we're being set in and what kind of new enemy we're dealing with. The game drops us 1 year before the events of Alpha Halo. We see a new Covenant ship, UNSC wreckage, and the glassed human colony known as Promise. Orbiting Promise is a never-before-seen agricultural Covenant vessel, and aboard it is a new Covenant faction confirmed to be the Sacristans. Now, for context, what is a Sacristan? In the real world, Sacristans are church officers responsible for the care of sacred spaces, working behind the scenes to ensure every ceremony runs smoothly. That background matters here, because it explains the group's holy aesthetic and why majority of them are wearing white and gold armor. Leading this group is a never-before-seen Sanshayum, confirmed to be the Minister of Harmony, who at first glance doesn't carry the same holiness as a prophet, but definitely has his own swagger. And this is where I just want to pause and say, I love that Halo is leaning back into religion with the Sacristans. Halo has always been at its best when mixing both religion and politics. Now, if Campaign Evolved is committing to exploring that space again, I'm fully here for it. But going back to the new Covenant group, here's something worth thinking about. In the real world, Sacristans aren't just caretakers of sacred spaces. In Christianity, they're specifically the ones who handle the body and blood of Christ, the Eucharist, the most sacred physical ritual in Christianity. So what does it mean that this Covenant faction carrying the exact same name is operating an agricultural ship? Some sacred ritual tied to the Forerunners that we've never seen before. The Covenant's religion has always borrowed heavily from real-world theology, like the Great Journey mirroring ideas of salvation and rapture. The prophets do mirror a corrupt clergy, so it wouldn't be a stretch at all for them to have something similar to the Eucharist. If that's intentional, it's genuinely brilliant. It would add an entire new depth to the Covenant religion that we've never explored in 20 years of this franchise. Here's where things get interesting. On this agricultural ship, there are these test tubes that resemble eggs containing naked Sangheili of the very hideous Halo 4 design. Some look perfectly intact, while others look deformed, as if they're being experimented on. Which raises the question, why is an agricultural ship experimenting on Sangheili? My best guess is that the Sacristans are attempting to engineer super mutant Sangheili, which sounds insane given that Sangheili are already physically superior to humans, and the Covenant already has brutes, hunters, and Sharkoi, but religious fanaticism always has a way of pushing things further than they need to go, so it could be something darker, like the Minister of Harmony being an absolute nutcase and trying to resurrect the dead, using corpses and playing God in the name of the Great Journey. But why would he do something like that? Maybe he wants to know what they saw in the Great Journey. But if that was the case, that doesn't really explain why the Halo 4 models exist as a distinct design rather than just dead bodies. Now, the most likely explanation is that Halo Infinite elites probably didn't look good naked, so they had to settle and again reuse assets, which is why they went with the horrendous Halo 4 design. Honestly, I appreciate the effort in trying to build lore around this, but personally I would have preferred a clean retcon, and that's funny coming from someone named after a Halo 4 elite. I think having to construct an in-universe explanation for what everyone already knows was just a terrible design just feels like the game is working harder than it has to. Now, from all this information gathered, who do you think the Sacristans are? Why are the elites in the tubes? I want to hear your comments and theories below, and like always, subscribe to join the Madama Empire.